Yo, what's happening, people? You're free to else at TvKO. Thank you for watching, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button if you will. I'm gonna mention a few things that happened over the last few days in boxing, and I'm gonna start with Joe Joyce, the juggernaut. Joe Joyce, who I've been keeping a beady little eye on. Very interesting character, and I say that with a sense of irony because he does the most boring interviews. However, interesting in the ring for sure. His performance on Saturday against Leroy Thomas, I thought was it was a bit cumbersome actually. I thought it was a dominating performance over Leroy. He was a bit messy, like he was throwing a lot of wild shots that just weren't anywhere near connecting. And this is against a target that wasn't hard to hit. But of course, when he did hit Leroy Thomas, he certainly knew about it and he got the job done. I think it was within 2 rounds. So yeah, can't really argue against it really. But I guess I'm thinking this is a guy who just come into the pro ranks at what, 30, 31. I think he's now 32. He's obviously going to have to be fast tracked. Hence why he was fighting for the Commonwealth after only 4 fights, and hence why he's calling out Jarrell Miller, which is really what I was talking about in this topic. And if he was to fight Jarrell Miller and get his wish, then I just believe he'd need to sort that out a little bit. He looks a lot more impressive actually against Lewison than he did against Leroy Thomas, in my opinion. But hey, there you go. But anyway, he's called out Jarrell Miller, which is an amazing statement considering Jarrell Miller is probably top 10. I did a recent top 10 video, the heavyweights, and he was in my top 10. That's a pretty massive statement that he's making there. So he's called out Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller's kind of clapped back, but it was a bit of a sidestep, kind of half duck if you ask me. He, rather than actually address the fight, he kind of spoke about David Haye and how Joe Joyce is learning from David Haye by trying to milk big money out of fights without doing much and all that, which I thought was a little bit weird. Like, the guy's just calling you out. If you don't want to fight him, just say, look man, come back to me after 10 fights, which he did say, but all the rest of it was not really necessary. I think Joe Joyce then responded again. I can't quite remember what he said, although I'm going to put it up on the screen so you guys can see. Yeah, interesting, very interesting character is this Joe Joyce, certainly as a fighter anyway. And it's also because he's coming to the pro game so late. You know, he's 32 now. I think he might be 33 at some point this year. And the fact that he's having to fast track, you're going to get a lot more of these incidents happening where, you know, we know before he was chasing Chisora. He's now chasing, Jarrell Miller. And of course, he's fought Leroy Thomas in between that. So, yeah, the fact that he has to be fast tracked makes him interesting because we know that he's going to be involved in some really good fights. The Jarrell Miller fight, I swear, I've just been trying to think about it, and it's difficult to actually try and give a verdict on what would happen in that fight because, to be honest, to be frank, know very little about either man as an actual fighter. We know Joe Joyce has got a great amateur pedigree and record, and Jarrell Miller not so much so. And obviously at professional level, he's had just around 23, 24 fights, most of which have been against unknown fighters. So it'd be a bit of the unknown, that fight. It'd be a fight I'd be looking forward to watching, to be honest. But yeah, interesting developments that. Just wanted to sort of just talk about that because I thought it was quite fascinating that Joe Joyce decided to call out Jarrell Miller. Interesting. I don't personally think there's any chance of this fight taking place, just based on Jarrell Miller's response, to be honest. And to be frank as well about Jarrell Miller, about his overall response of just being like, nah, no thanks. I don't blame him. You know, what does he really get out of that? It's a risky fight. You know, Joe Joyce can bang, certainly can bang, he can box, and he's got a great engine. So, you know, how much are they really prepared? How much can David Haye pay Jarrell Miller in comparison to someone like Anthony Joshua? It's just a whole different ball game. So it's not a fight I see happening, but interesting little story nonetheless. But anyway, guys, I'm out. Peace.